Hi everyone, Howie here, and I'm continuing my sequel of practicing English, even though it's by myself. And today I want to talk about, you know, my generation and what I've seen to it and what I've realized in it and being a part of it, what I've experienced in it, what I've seen, what I've analyzed in my own friends or people around me. And I have a couple topics that I want to focus in, which is social media and the constant seeking of approval, especially in the people of my generation. And I want to talk about the things we see in social media, especially Instagram, maybe Twitter. I myself, I don't post a lot. I am not a very big social media guy. I don't even have Twitter. Maybe I have an account, but I don't even go in it. I don't follow anyone there. I do have Instagram, but I never post, or if I do, it's usually about my dog. I don't really enjoy pictures, but that's just me. And I'm trying not to be biased of what I think of social media affecting what I analyzed. And basically, what I see is that people, you know, are posting a life that is not real, and it's creating a cycle of madness. Maybe that's a to sum it up. That's what I've seen. And to clear this up, to explain what I just said, is basically people are posting things, that they are not living. So they're posting, happy moments in a restaurant, fancy traveling, moments. You're traveling to all these countries and you're looking so happy with your family, maybe by yourself, and you're posting all of this, which in reality you're very, upset, you're depressed, you're anxious, and you're posting your highlights. Basically, that's what I would say. And when that gets posted, other people see it and they think that's your life. They don't see the bad sides of you. They don't see the tough moments you go through because you don't post about it. Of course, why would you post a bad moment? Why would you post something that doesn't paint a good image of you, right? And this cycle of posting things that are only one side of you, are the only good side of you, are making other people anxious, depressed, and it's making them compare themselves to you, to others, um, and it's driving them crazy, to sum it up. And I want to link this to the constant seek of approval, because I do think people, in most cases, post like this to seek approval, to seek some self-worth. Oh, I'm good because I have a fancy car. I'm good, inside. Or I'm worth something because I have a fancy house. I am worth something because I go to fancy parties. And you're posting this constantly to seek approval, to seek comments, like, wow, you're the guy, look at what you are. And I don't want to generalize, because for those people who post and they are actually fulfilled and genuinely happy and they're just posting because they want to, that's okay. I'm not talking about those cases. I'm just saying that if you're posting things and it's untrue about your true self, that's very dangerous, not just for you, but for the people who are watching, because they don't understand. It's not that they don't understand, but their mind doesn't read like that. It doesn't read like that. You start to compare yourself. So you see some people that are very fit or whatever, and then you compare yourself to your own body, and then you feel more depressed. And you see people buying houses and getting pregnant and having a family, and then you're all alone, and you're comparing this to other people, and that makes you more anxious, and that makes you more depressed. So it's a very, very vicious and bad cycle, and it's really destructive. And for those people who are comparing yourselves and feeling more anxious about it, I would just like to take a moment to tell you that you don't need to compare yourself. You don't have to be like other people. And most of the times, the people that post things like that, they're not completely happy, they're not completely fulfilled. Trust me, these people are not posting, the whole side of the story. We all have problems, so don't compare yourself to those posts, right? Especially on Instagram, you see a whole lot of stories. I'm vegan, I'm healthy, look at how I'm eating. And then when you realize you're sitting on the couch and you're eating a huge hamburger and you're like, wow, I suck. Look at this guy, he's a vegan. Which in reality, it's his first day being a vegan. Guess what? Yesterday he was eating pizza. So it's just an example of why we shouldn't compare ourselves to Instagram or whatever other social media, because it's not true, or it's just not the whole story, right? You only have a side of that story, which is the side they want you to see. No one wants to show their darkest moments. That's that's basically why I wanted to talk about this. But our mind doesn't analyze like that. It looks at it and it sees, wow, I'm not worth anything. Look at this guy. Look at what he's doing. And trying to continue the part of the seeking of approval, I do think that has a correlation to um, you know the parent generation that you know raised all these people that are basically now 20, 30 maybe, and maybe those parents might have not have done a good job, not sure. um, I honestly do think that nowadays parents are getting worse and worse at their job of raising a child, which is a very, very, very important job. I would say it's the most important job on this earth, is raising your child well. And that might have a correlation. Maybe people did not have approval of their parents, so they seek it on the internet and they seek it in others, and they need to feel worth something. They need to feel loved, and they seek fancy cars, fancy houses, and they post about it because they need to feel appreciated, they need to feel loved. And it makes me really sad. I do get very emotional thinking about it, because you do not have to do this. You can find um, your own self-worth, right? You don't have to have things around you to prove that you are someone good. I do think that the value and morals are inside you and not around the things you have. And I do think that money is sold as a fulfilling and a requirement of happiness, and I do not agree with it. I'm not a hypocrite. I do know that money can buy many things and it is important, but I do not think that money should be your main focus, um, especially not the way that it's sold in social media. You don't have to travel to be happy. You don't have to have a fancy car to be happy. And you don't have to compare yourselves to these people, because guess what? There are a bunch of rich people, a bunch of famous people, declaring that they're depressed, that they're canceling their, tour, they're canceling their shows, they're canceling everything because they're too depressed to walk. And they have a bunch of money and fame. And the question is, why would someone that has money and fame be depressed and sad? Doesn't make sense, right? Well, the answer is simple. Money and fame do not fulfill you. It just doesn't. And it makes me really sad that the generation I grew up in, looks up to these artists that most of the time are living these fake lives, traveling, fancy restaurants, a cute couple that they look up to, which in reality, the couple just fights all the time, breaks up, comes back together, aren't living great moments. But when you look at the Instagram pictures, you see them happy, and then you feel sad because you're lonely, and you compare yourself to them. Especially, I can't talk, I can't, I'm speaking for myself and maybe other men, but I can't speak for women when I say this, that especially men comparing themselves. I do think that women compare themselves even more, but speaking on my behalf and behalf of men, men do compare themselves to others who by 30 are married and have kids, and maybe by 25 already have a great job and a car. And then when you look, you're 28 and you're still working in McDonald's or Burger King, whatever, and you haven't built a career, you haven't graduated from any college institution, and you're just getting anxious and depressed each day because you're comparing yourself to other people. But you don't have to do that. There's so many examples out there of people who didn't even graduate college and have a successful life. you know it's you just have to go on your own pace. You don't have to create this atmosphere of comparing yourself to other people who've made it. These people, they didn't make it. you know if you have depression and you have a bunch of money, what does that, you know like, you haven't made it. You've made money but you're depressed. I'd rather have like less money and not be depressed, right? Isn't that better? So just go in your own pace, and that's the message I'd like to leave, is don't compare yourself to others. You can go in your own pace. And really, this seeking of approval in buying things that you don't need or don't want just to make other people happy for it, or make other people look at you in a certain way, don't do that. Live your life for yourself. If you like a car, great, work for it, buy it, but don't buy it for others. Don't buy it for a different reason of being what you want. Figure out what you want, and then you do it. And you do it with joy and great excitement of doing it, because it's for you and it's what you want. If you work yourself for a job that other people might find cool, and you work for a degree that other people might find cool, and you work for a house that other people might find cool, then you're not living your life. You're living this fantasy of other people, and it will burn you out like you've never seen before, and you will be depressed and you'll be anxious for a long time before you can fix it. So start now. Don't live that way. And yeah, that's my message to you. And I'll be ending this video. I hope everyone has a great day, and I will continue my sequel of practicing in English, even though it's by myself. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.